Hello, everyone. This is Alihara Chor, and welcome to another episode of Environmentalism. Environmentalism podcast is Pakistan's first ever podcast series on environmental issues in Pakistan, South Asia, and the rest of the world. Environmentalism is designed to shed light on emerging and local and regional environmentalists who help shine light on pressing and rapidly occurring climate change issues. With that, today we have our guest from Sri Lanka, Miss Ahalya. Before we talk to Miss Ahalya about anything, let's know who Miss Ahalya is. Miss Ahalya Suresh, is a marine ecologist, conservation biologist, and a faculty member affiliated to the Coastal and Marine Resource Management Department of Ocean University of Sri Lanka. She is also a research fellow at Korea Maritime and Ocean University and a research associate with SLY Can Trust in Sri Lanka. She is an early career researcher working on field coastal and marine ecology, environmental management, sustainable development, and natural resource management. She is a young delegate at Youngo Youth Consistency of UNFCCC and Children and Young Major Group of the UNEP, United Nations Environment Program. Ahalya holds a master's degree in marine ecology from Korean Maritime Ocean University, South Korea, and first class bachelor's degree in environmental sciences from the University of Jaffna, Sri Lanka. She has a potential list of publications and she has presented numerous papers at conferences both locally and as well as internationally. She is a climate enthusiast. She works to find science-based solution to climate change related coastal degradation and livelihood promotion. She also works to encourage women and young reconciliation in climate action. She is also a technical writer assisting and contributing several policy briefs, technical paper, and research articles. Additionally, she blogs about climate change, gender, women empowerment, and personal stories of her interest. She has been awarded as the Student Excellence Award by the Graduate School of KMOU for her best performance in research publication, exceptional scores during her masters, and many of her posters and presentations has been selected as best posters of the conference. She is a young dynamic and pushes herself one step ahead of the best. Her motto is to work hard and enjoy little things. She loves book, music, she loves coffee and travel. And this is Miss Ahalya. Miss Ahalya, that is one whole lot of introduction about you. And I think that has been the longest introduction that I have read in a while. So, Miss Ahalya, over to you. How are you? Tell us a bit more about yourself.
Hi, thank you so much, and thank you for the invite, and thank you for the long introduction. I'm good. I'm actually good. Hello from Sri Lanka.
Yeah. So, Ahalya, you know that our aim of sitting and talking here is that we talk about one of the world's most known and profound issues, that is climate change and environmental issues. So, with that, Ahalya, I want you to tell us about what marine ecologist and conservation biologist does. What do you do as a marine ecologist and a conservation biologist?
Yeah, thank you for that.
Over to you.
Really, marine ecology is basically the biology of ecosystems. That means we study environment and the changes in environmental systems, and we propose solutions to make them correct. So we just solutioners. We study what is in around the environment, so that we can understand how the environment is changing, and also we can propose solutions which are like very viable and sustainable to protect the marine ecosystem. So my specialization is marine and coastal, so I study about marine and coastal ecosystems. So in terms of conservation biologists, so once we studied the changes in ecosystems, we propose conservatory actions. So our intention is to uh, protect and conserve the marine life as well as the marine ecosystem. So that's how marine ecologist as well as a conservationist and conservation biologist.
Okay, that is great. I myself really am interested in, marine and marine ecosystem being an I'm really enthusiastic about knowing different ecosystems, and conservation is one of the things I wish I can do more and more, because if we won't conserve today, probably we'll have nothing tomorrow. Thank you so much, Alia. With that, I have one other question. How important is marine resource management in context of environmental management?
Yeah, so that's a great question, though. So marine resources are pretty much plenty. We are surrounded by nearly more than 70% of water, but still we are unable to manage the resources sustainably. So that we call resource exploitation. So at the moment, we human are being greedy. We are grabbing so much from the nature so that the nature is suffocating. In terms of marine resource management, we need to slow down. We need to slow down on grabbing the resources so that we can let something for the we can just give something for our future generation. So marine resources, in sense of marine resources, we talk about starting from fisheries, coral reefs, to the bigger issues like energy and other factors, other issues. So everything has to be managed properly, as well as they have to be there needs to be a monitoring of the control of resources utilization by humans. So that's why we are it's very challenging though for the scientists, especially who's working in the marine and coastal ecosystems, because every coastal economy, every coastal livelihood is dependent on natural resources. So we have to use, or we have to utilize the resources, as well as we are in a need to protect the nature. So it's a bit a pressing issue, but it's a bit a stress to scientists who are working, but still we are thriving to get a better solution for this.
Okay, that is 70% of water. We are surrounded by 70% of water, and unsustainable fishing, and also it's very, it's a huge challenge to maintain things sustainably, and when it comes to marine ecologist. And yes, your work is indeed very hard, because every sea, every ocean has its own story. Yeah. So with that, Ahalya, I have one question for you. Marine life are suffering because of environmental issues and climate change. You know that. And there's this recent post that I've been seeing on Instagram about the overfishing of dolphins, and it's been very critical. And just right now, you told us about the unsustainable management. So with that, I want to know one thing, that marine life is suffering because of environmental issues and climate change. Can you explain us how this is impacting, how climate change is impacting the marine life?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very rising issue. So it's a hot topic right now globally. So basically, we there was a post a couple of weeks ago. There was on the cover page of the Economist was the penguins are floating. Penguins are watching TV on a floating sea. So actually, what it depicts is that a global warming is happening, and penguins are the Arctic and the Antarctic are under pretty much of threat. So the primary issue, or the hottest issue of climate change is global warming. So what we have done is we have sent so much of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, and we have made the globe to become the hottest planet on the universe right now. So with that, the global warming and increased global temperatures, we have ice glaciers over the Arctics and Antarctics, and they are primarily melting down. So this is increasing the sea levels drastically, with the recent years, so that the penguins and all the Arctic and Antarctic uh, organisms are being like translocated, or they are migrating here and there. So migrations are a primary issue of global warming and all the climate change, if I may say. And also the increased temperatures. As we know, this science is that increasing temperatures, they reduce the dissolution of oxygen. So in that sense, the when the global temperature increases, the oxygen dissolution in the ocean water is decreased. The capacity is decreased, so that the ocean water's oxygen is being reduced, so that that is, so we breathe like everyone else. The marine species, they breathe oxygen, so they need the oxygen. But with the decline in oxygen capacity, so they are like supposed to die. So massive deaths are being occurring because of this. So these are like hot, these are the top priorities. So this in turn affects the productivity. So ocean is the like the most uh, senior or most large primary productivity sink, carbon sinks. We call them as the carbon sinks. So they are the primary productivity highest at the for the whole ecosystem. So this affects their productivity, so that starting from there, the food web that is continuously that ends up in the terrestrial, so that would also be altered, so that the trophic levels and everything will be affected. So it's going to end. It's not going to end well. So with that, like for specifically for some species, temperature and their ecosystems are the one that determines their sex, so their gender. So with depreciations in temperatures, that could affect their reproductive as well as the life cycle stages, so that their species will be either extinct or will be decreased in numbers. So we are expecting so much of extinction or decrease in massive marine life due to reasons like climate change and global warming. So these could be primary, but there are like other issues such as loss of food for human. There are the ocean productivity. Since the ocean productivity goes down, so does the terrestrial productivity, as well as it also impacts on the carbon dioxide cycle. All the nutrient cycles will be affected, so, and also it will affect the sediment regulation as well. So these are like the side effects, but the primary effects are like we will face massive loss of marine life with deoxygenation and also increased temperatures around the oceans.
That is very true, Ahalya. This is one of those issues that not only we talk on environmentalism podcast about things that are based on assumptions. We talk about really realistic stuff, and it is true that migration patterns are already changing. The mating seasons are becoming difficult for birds and other, not even like in marine life. Even the birds that fly from one place to another during the mating season are under a lot of threat. And yes, we're almost about there, to the point where either we'll see a drastic decrease in world species, both marine and land species, or they were entirely extinct. And I hope that maybe we don't see that time, and we would do something, have a sustainable solution for what we are doing to earth. With that, I'm going to ask you, yeah, I read in your bio that you have blogs about climate change, gender and women empowerment as your personal stories and of interest. Can you tell me about gender and women empowerment in reference to climate change? Because I think this is one of the issues that we don't really talk about. That climate change is not only affecting one particular thing; it's affecting literally everything. Over to you.
So yeah, usually, as you said, like we don't talk this topic so much. So the emphasis on gender and climate, and especially women, how women and girls, how they are suffocating or suffering with climate change impacts are being talked started to be talked very recently. So I got interested on this because since where I'm from, it's a developing country, so we basically rely on agriculture and fisheries for most of our country's economy. So in that sense, country's economy is reliant mostly on climate change factors or climate factors. In that sense, mostly we did studies on how women are being affected. So we did livelihood surveys, and we did livelihood assessments on how climate change is impacting, so that we understood from that only I got to know that women are being there are disparities in how climate change is affecting to men and women. It's different though, but men, they do have a choice. But in terms of women, especially with their domestic like duties and everything, they are prone to the access of natural resources such as water, firewood, or like any other domestic necessities that are grabbed from the nature. So those things, when they are being lost or when they are being decreased because of any changes in the climate change, especially water, there is there is reduction in water bodies, aquatic ecosystems are being polluted, either polluted or being with increased temperature, they are being lost, evaporated or lost. So the access to water becomes pretty much of a problem. But women are the one has to like face these issues in their family, in terms of family. So uh, so they do not have the chances of getting escaped from those things. So then I dived deep into that. So just now, only very recently, global studies have been launched on how women are being exposed to climate change, how this can be like monitored, or how this can be like addressed on a global scale. Even though in developed countries, gender issues related to climate change is uh, is being discussed starting recently. So we need to talk more on this because we women and girls, they have so much of vulnerabilities in terms of climate change, and also their empowerment is required so that that will also end up in promoting their livelihood as well as economic development as well. So in terms of community management and community development, putting women on the front line for climate change is pretty much crucial.
That is very true. Yes, the studies itself says that women are more prone to go through trouble because of climate change, and they have to travel along, a lot of long distances to find clean water. And in some places, in some part of the world, it is not even possible for women, even if they travel like miles and miles, they don't find clean water. And not only that, that women are, they are under the threat, they are really vulnerable to go through a lot of, trouble because of climate change, and children themselves are a lot in trouble because obviously, uh, if the one some there's some really common conceptual things that we don't understand, that if one woman has like four children and she's going through some trouble, like she doesn't have clean water, she doesn't have resources that are connected to climate change and environment, she and the four other kids of her are going through the same vulnerability, are going through the same disaster that her mother or their mother are going through. That is really important. And I think we should have more. I think you should, Ahalya, you should write more about that, and you should discuss, spread your message as much as you can, because uh, what we're trying to do here is we're just trying to make a global impact and make people understand that it's not fun to have climate issues and environmental issues. With that, Ahalya, I want you to, we know a lot of problems. Yeah, we know a lot about problems. Please, can you tell us about possible solutions for the conservation of marine life, because marine life is really endangered right now. and marine life is also important for our food chains and our ecosystem, because you as an environmentalist and I, we both really do understand that if there won't be, if there one thing that breaks out of the food chain or the food cycle of our earth, it's going to have a massive impact on everybody. So can you please tell us possible solutions for conservation of marine life and related sustainable solutions? Over to you, Ahalya.
Thank you for that. I'm yeah, we've been talking about the problems all the time. So it's like every problem has a solution. At least we have to try to draw a solution. So yeah, I'm being very optimistic. We can find at least potential or possible sustainable solutions. Yes. So the first one, like when we talk about solutions, like most of the people, like it's very common for people to just solutions, the simple solutions for them to for climate change is like like close the tap or switch on the lights or fans. That's the simplest solutions they offer, but we are way past that. So in my terms, we are way past that. So like it's not closing the sink tap or switching on your lights will not help what we are facing today, because we are facing massive fires, forest fires, loss of wetlands. The wetlands are being lost massively. So we are like experiencing very much of drastic effects of from the nature's climate change. So from the face of climate change actually. So I would suggest, like the primary suggestion I would suggest is that we have to reduce the amount on a global scale. On a global scale, we have to reduce the amount of fossil fuels and the vehicular emissions we as much as possible, and we have to switch to renewable and green energy so that it will be it will make a bigger impact on what we are facing right now. So at the moment also we have to the resource exploitations, the fisheries, the natural resources. When we are using fisheries, in terms of fisheries, they have to be regulated. So illegal and unregulated these fishing activities, the unsustainable fishing practices, they have to be switched. They need to be regulated nationally, both nationally, regionally, as well as globally. They have to be regulated and monitored. They like any unsustainable practices should be restricted, or there should be a cutoff. And also, in my terms, ocean protection is has to come from home. So what we what we wash off in our home, that ends in our ocean. So ocean pollution, in terms of ocean pollution, we have to have practices like reducing and reusing of products, especially plastics. We have tons of we didn't talk about plastics though, but it's a bigger issue in the marine environment as well. So we have to switch to sustainable life practices, life choices such as paper, glass, or wood, so that we can reduce our daily plastic usage, which will have a huge impact on the amount of plastic waste that has been thrown off from every household. And also in terms of, like if we talk about protecting or conserving the marine life and anything, simplest way is we have to do beach cleanups, like not only on the ocean day, but every day is an ocean day if you love the ocean. So we have to do beach cleanups, and we have to keep the surroundings. So we have to keep the surroundings, um, yeah, clean as much as possible. That in that way, I'd say we can have a sustainable, as well as we can have a safe and healthy ocean for the rest of our life.
Okay, thank you so much, Ahalia, for your time. Thank you so much for telling us so much about marine life, about things that we really need to understand to have a proper lifestyle. So, Yes, I'm just going to put that into pointers about the solutions Ahalia told us, and we will start with our wetlands globally being endangered. She also said that we need to have less emissions to have a sustainable and global effect of clean and safe environment. She also said that we need to have renewable energy and green energy. That I totally like understand that because without renewable energy, uh, Earth is almost at the point of being devastated. And with that, she also mentioned that we need to have sustainable fisheries. We need to protect ocean. Ocean protection is also very important. Sustainable life choices. Yes, that is one thing that should be on every billboard in every country, in every city, in every part of the world, that we should have a sustainable life choice. And Miss Ali also said that every day is an ocean day. Keep them clean as much as you can possibly clean them. So that is our conversation with Miss Ahalia, and we did learn a lot of things. I hope that you guys will learn more about the issues. I hope that you will learn and also implement these podcasts and these information that we share here in your everyday life. And I always say that environmental crisis is not a national or a regional issue, it's a global issue. And with that, save your earth, please. It's maybe it's not a maybe. There's a 100% possibility that ecosystem you can recover earth right now. Ecosystem is thriving. It's so quick to recover. Please make efforts upon your part. Me and Ahalia, we are environmentalists. Yes, we are. But this is not just our responsibility. It's your responsibility too. We live in the same place. This is our home. Earth is our home. With that, keep yourself safe from the COVID, and also please wash your hands and keep your environment as clean as possible. Think about others, think about fishes, think about the birds and animals that we are causing harm to because of our very unsustainable life choices. With that, this is me and Ahalia. Ahalia, thank you so much for your time again, sweetie. I'm really glad to have you.
Thank you so much.
With
Thank you for inviting me here as well. Thank you.
Always. This is me, Aleha Rathore and Ahalia Suresh signing off. Peace out, guys. Have a safe weekend.